Don't move to Sugar Hill, Georgia. Here's why. On this channel, we try very hard to make sure that we paint these pictures of these cities very balanced. We want you to have the whole picture about what it looks like to live in Atlanta and the suburbs of Atlanta. And it's certainly going to be the case that not every city is the right fit for you. It really depends on your needs and what you're looking for in a new home. And Sugar Hill is definitely not the kind of city that has everything. There is some things that are lacking in Sugar Hill. And so if you're planning on moving here, you really want to make sure that you understand the complete picture about this city. And so while we talk a lot about why these cities are great and what makes them so wonderful, I want to talk about what makes Sugar Hill maybe not the right city for you. And so one of those things is the fact that Sugar Hill is a small town. This is not a city with like that urban vibe where you're going to be able to walk to everything. It's not that kind of town. It's more like a small town, a suburban area of Atlanta, and it's probably about 45 minutes to an hour away from Atlanta. And so if you're looking for that kind of bigger city where you have a lot of people and more densely populated, lots of things to do, lots of places to go and shopping and like restaurants everywhere, and you're gonna walk to all of these things, then Sugar Hill is not really the right place for that. What's up, y'all? My name is Victor with Atlanta Suburban Living. We put out videos every week about what it's like to live in Atlanta and the suburbs of Atlanta. Another thing that you should know about Sugar Hill is the traffic issue. While the city of Sugar Hill is about 36 miles from Midtown Atlanta, during rush hour, this is an hour to an hour and a half commute. And so it seems like it's only 36 miles and you should be able to get down to Atlanta in about 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes. But the problem with this area is that everybody takes the same road to get to Atlanta from this area, not only from Sugar Hill to Midtown, but even from the surrounding suburbs to get to Midtown. Areas like Johns Creek or Peachtree Corners or Swanee, all of the residents of those cities, even Norcross or maybe Cumming, would all be taking Interstate 85 or Highway 400, maybe Peachtree Industrial Boulevard. All of these kind of go north to south, sort of, and they go down to Atlanta, specifically into Midtown. So not a whole lot of options for all of these residents. And so while it may seem on a map that it's kind of close to Atlanta, it would be a very long commute, especially if you are working in Atlanta every day, going into the office and then going back home to Sugar Hill. That's a pain in the ass commute that you might not want to be doing every day. And then speaking of driving, another one that you should know is because this is kind of a small town, you're going to be car dependent in Sugar Hill. If you're planning on moving here or you just have any questions about what it's like to live in Atlanta or Sugar Hill, feel free to call, text, or email me anytime. I'm a local realtor here in the area, and I love helping people make the move to the Atlanta area. Thank you so much to everybody who has reached out. I'm always happy to help. But this is definitely going to be that kind of small suburban feeling area. And so not only is it not really walkable, but to get anywhere, you're going to need a vehicle. And there isn't really any like good public transportation in this area. There is certainly the rideshare services, Uber and Lyft and all of those, but there's not really like a public transportation that is widely used, and most people, if not everybody who lives in Sugar Hill, is pretty much car dependent. Another reason why Sugar Hill might not be the right area for you is that while it is a small town, it is kind of in high demand for the people who are looking for that small suburban town. Again, if you're looking for a bigger city with lots of things to do, it's not really worth the amount of competition that there is among people who are wanting to move here. So for those people who really are looking for this kind of town, this is a very popular city to move to. So not only is it becoming very populated and more like densely populated, but it's also a lot of competition for homes, for purchasing homes, for renting homes, for all of those situations. There's more competition in this area. And so as if home prices are not already stupid high, you're kind of having to compete with other buyers during certain times of the years, especially during the busy time of year, like the spring, like maybe April, May, June. Around those months is when you're going to have more competition among people wanting to rent and buy. And so it's going to be a little bit more difficult. Not necessarily paying above list price for homes. That's not really the case in this area, but you would be paying list price. In other suburbs of Metro Atlanta, it has become normal to not have to pay list price for a home when you're purchasing. You can very easily pay below list price. It's super normal now. But in Sugar Hill, again, a lot of people want to live here, so the competition here is a bit higher than some of the other suburbs. Another reason why this might not be the right area is property taxes. Here in Sugar Hill, Sugar Hill's in Gwinnett County, and so there's a lot of things that the county does very well here. One of those things is going to be the schools in general, but we're going to talk about more about that in just a minute for Sugar Hill specifically. But because this is a very popular county and because they have a lot of great county services and amenities, this also means that the property taxes here are a bit higher than some of the other suburbs. And so as if property taxes haven't already increased so much, they're still going up in this area in Sugar Hill and in Gwinnett County. And if you live within the city limits of Sugar Hill, that is to say that you're not in one of the unincorporated parts of Sugar Hill, but if you're closer to the city center, you would not only be paying county taxes, but you would also be paying city taxes. This will rack up your property tax bill very quickly and very often catches a lot of people by surprise. Another thing about this city is this is not the kind of area that I would say has a lot of culture. It's not a foodie scene, it's not like an art scene. The best suburb in all of Metro Atlanta for that is Decatur. Decatur is badass when it comes to having the best food spots and the live music and the art. Decatur is the best for that. Sugar Hill doesn't really have that kind of thing. Sure, there are some good restaurants and sort of a cool kind of downtown area, but this is not the kind of culture that you would find in Midtown Atlanta or in downtown Atlanta or in Decatur. Sugar Hill is just a typical suburban area, and the families who are looking for that family-friendly feel and the schools and they want to be kind of farther away from Atlanta, that's who is really drawn to the city of Sugar Hill. But the people who are looking for that kind of city life with all of that culture, museums, this is not really found in Sugar Hill. In addition to that, very limited to no nightlife. Everything here closes at 9 or 10 o'clock. There's nothing going on after that time. And so another downside of living here if you're looking for that kind of nightlife that you find in a bigger city. Now, one thing that we should definitely talk about when it comes to Sugar Hill and when it comes to painting the whole picture and making sure that you understand the whole thing about living in this city is the school situation. Like I mentioned, Gwinnett County does have great schools, but I don't know, Sugar Hill doesn't really seem to fit the bill as much as some of the other cities. For example, Suwanee, which is also in Gwinnett County, or Beaufort, which is also in Gwinnett County, they have lots of 9 out of 10 schools or 10 out of 10 schools. But Sugar Hill is kind of trying to catch up a little bit, it seems. For example, Sugar Hill Elementary School is a 7 out of 10, according to greatschools.org. Lanier Middle School is an 8 out of 10, and Lanier High School is an 8 out of 10. And so while those are not bad school ratings by any means, they're not as high as some of the other surrounding suburbs in Gwinnett County, especially. And then also to the west of Sugar Hill would be, eventually to the west would be Johns Creek. And Johns Creek is very popular and has excellent 10 out of 10 schools, but it's like Sugar Hill is kind of one of those suburbs right there in the middle that does not have as good of public schools. When you couple that with having to pay the property taxes of Gwinnett County, or the competition of the amount of people who want to live in this area, it's kind of like, what are we paying for here? Like, we can live in one of the cities that is next to Sugar Hill and get those amenities and have the same high cost of living and the same property taxes, and you would get the better public schools. Don't get me wrong, overall, I really do think this is a great suburb. It's definitely a family-friendly suburb. They have an excellent downtown area for the people who are looking for that kind of suburban feel. Then certainly Sugar Hill is a great option. In fact, we have multiple videos, including a full video outlining the pros and the cons of living in Sugar Hill. You can check it out right here. I'll see you in the next one.